Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GRE. We have been solving GRE math problems out of this book here, the official guide to the GRE, the revised general test. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 245. On page number 245, the very first problem on the top, number 15. Number 15. And today is our lesson number 150. Let's see what the problem has to say. It says a group can charter a particular aircraft at a fixed total cost, or a group can charter an aircraft at a fixed total cost. So that's the first sentence. Alright, so here we go. A group of people charter an aircraft. If 36 people charter the aircraft rather than 40, then the cost per person is $12 more. Alright. So the cost per person is $12 more if 36 people versus 40. What is the question asking? What is the total fixed cost to charter the aircraft? Alright, so let's start our solution here. Let the total fixed cost to charter the craft be $C. So we're going to use letter C to represent the total cost of chartering the aircraft. Also, we're going to let the small d be, let D be the cost per person when 40 go. So if that's the case, if we're going to use C to represent the total cost, and if we're going to use the letter D to represent the cost per person when 40 of them are going, then it stands to reason that 40 times the amount per person must be the total cost. So that tells us that the total cost must be the amount that each person is paying when 40 people are going times 40. But we are also told that the cost per person is $12 more. So whatever this D dollar is per person, whatever they're paying per person, it's going to be 12 more than that if 36 people go instead of 40. So that implies that the cost is going to be D plus 12 if 36 go, which of course D plus 12 times 36 must also equal the total cost. So that means that D plus 12 times 36 must also equal C, and that's our equation. All we have to do is solve this equation for D. That's all it is. And once we have the D, which is the cost per person when 40 of them are going, we can figure out the total cost. Let's do it then, shall we? I need the room, so I'm going to erase all of this now. Okay? I'll give you a chance in case. Alright. So we're going to solve that equation. That's all. I don't want to do it way in the corner there. Let's do it on the top here. So d times 40 is 40d equals 36 times d plus 12. 36 times d plus 12, which is 40d equals 36d times 36 times plus 36 times 12. Subtract 36d from both sides. Subtract 36d from both sides, so we can get rid of the d from the right hand side. So this is a plus 36, this is the minus 36, we can cross it out. This is a plus 40 and a minus 36. That means 4d equals 36 times 12. Notice how I have not had the urge to immediately try to figure out what 36 times 12 is. I have seen people over and over again, they immediately either reach for the calculator or waste their time doing it out. Don't do your calculation in the middle of solutions. Don't do any of the calculation in the middle of solutions. Wait until the very end. See what pans out at the end. You may not have to figure anything out. Sometimes, not sometimes, many a times in this exam, because the purpose of this exam is not to see how quickly you can use the calculator. That is not the point of the exam. That is not the bloody point here. They just want to see how well you can think. So save your calculation. Many a times you don't actually have to do it out. For example, here, 4d equals this. That means if you would divide both sides by 4, and that's your d. Divide both sides by 4 and I divide, what the hell? Divide both sides by 4 and that's your d. So d equals that amount. And now we don't have to do the messy calculations. Just divide any of these by 4. Let's divide, there are 3 4s and a 12. So it's 36 times 3. d equals 36 times 3. I know that 6 times 3 is 18, carry 1, and 3 times 3 is 9, so it's 10. That's it. Or if you want to put it the other way around, if you want to think it a little bit differently, the way we would have done it is this. 36 times 3, 3 times 3 is 90, 3 times 3 is 90, and 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 90, 90 plus 18 or 18 plus 90 is 108. What does D represent? D represents the cost per person. D represents the cost per person when 40 go. And they're looking for the total cost, aren't they? Number 15, was it? What is the fixed total cost to charter the aircraft? Well, it's just going to be 108 times however many people are going, 40 of them. 108 times 40. So let's do it out on the top here. So therefore, the total cost is 108 times 40, which is very straightforward. This 0 comes down here. 4 times 8 is 32, and then 4 times 1 is just 4. So it looks like $4,320 is the total cost. And I just noticed that there is a part B which says, what is the cost per person if 40 people charter the aircraft? We already answered that question. Cost per person, right here. Right here. The cost per person when 40 of them go is right here, 108, which is where we got the total cost from. So what they're asking in part B is actually necessary bits we have to find in order to answer part A. So we already answered it, that's it. Let's do one more, shall we? I want to do the next question now, because the next question is also a word problem, number 16, which will be the end of our day 150, and then starting from tomorrow we'll do problem number 17, which deals with the geometry concept, and it's going to continue. Geometry questions are going to continue once we finish these questions. There are 21 of them here in this section, but once we finish these, then the more geometry questions appear, beginning with page number 259, and we're going to continue the geometry part starting with day number 151. Okay, let's do number 16. Number 16. It says an antique dealer bought C antique chairs for a total of X dollars. Alright, so he bought C chairs. What the? C chairs for a total of X dollars. It's important that you assign emphasis, like I just did, to the fact that we are told that that is his total cost. It is not the cost per chair. That is his total cost. That's how much he paid for all of these chairs. That's his total cost. So the very first thing we want to do is find out what's the cost per chair, shall we? Let's find out cost per chair. So this implies that his cost per chair must be his total cost must be his total cost divided by the number of chairs he bought. Number of chairs he bought, which comes out to be his total cost was X dollars. The number of chairs he bought is C dollars, or C. So that's his cost per chair. Cost per chair. C over X. What else do we are told? The dealer sold each of these chairs for Y dollars. So then he turns around and sells each of these chairs for Y dollars. And we are told that he sold each of these chairs. That's important. That each of these chairs for Y dollars. Well, that's pretty straightforward then. That's how much is costing him per chair. That's what he's getting per chair. The difference between the two must be the dough that he made. So his profit per chair. Therefore, his profit per chair must be what he's getting for the chairs, which is Y dollars right here, minus what he paid for the chairs. One more time. Y is the amount of dollars. Y is what he's getting per chair, and X over C is the amount that he paid per chair. So what he's getting for the chair and what he paid for the chairs, the difference between the two amounts represents his profit per chair. It's not his total profit, this is his profit per chair. That's it, that's the answer. And his total profit must be his total profit is just going to be his profit per chair, which is Y minus X over C, times how many chairs he sold, which is C, right here, C, which comes out to be, if you were to open the parentheses, it comes out to be, I used up too much space to make this box here, and now I can't. So it's Y times C, and then Y times C, and then C times X over C. C times X over C, these C's are going to cancel out, and it is simply C times Y, it should be minus X. C times Y minus X. I hope you can read that low. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to go in the back of the camera. I'm going to see if you can read it that low. If not, I'm going to read out everything on the top here. Okay? Just give me 1 second. That's it. That's our answer. So one more time, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to recapitulate everything that we just said. Here's the story. The guy is buying C chairs for a total of X dollars. For example, if he's buying 10 chairs for a total of $800, how do you find the price per chair? Well, if he bought 10 chairs for a total of $800. I'm plugging in numbers here. And somebody were to ask you what is the price per chair, how would you find price per chair? You will take his total cost divided by how many he bought, which is what we did. Therefore, his cost per chair must be his total cost divided by the number of chairs that he bought, which is X over C. That's his cost per chair. Then they go on to tell us that he sold each of these chairs for Y dollars. So the amount of money that he got for each chairs minus what he paid per chair, that represents, this box here represents his profit per chair. And therefore his total profit would be the profit per chair times however many he sold. And it comes out to be Y times C times Y minus X. That's all. That's our answer. That's it. We're finally done with this thing. We'll start the geometry parts as I said from tomorrow on day number 151. I'll see you then, okay? Bye now.